First guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Rap might just be the fastest moving genre out there. It's not unusual for a rapper that you've never heard of to stumble into fame through social media these days. If you stop paying attention for even a short amount of time, you might miss the ascension of a new chart topper, while there are definitely some rappers that have been holding it down in the mainstream for a really long time. Some of rap's most dynamic veteran talents have staved off the career reaper and bounced back in new and exciting ways. You can't argue with the fact that new stars come out of nowhere. Today, we are going to see why and how some rappers had a career revival. And the one at number 2 on our list will totally amaze you. So stay tuned until the end of the video to find out. But before we start, like this video and subscribe to our channel.
To thank you for watching this video, we're offering you an absolutely free training webinar. How would you feel knowing that you could pay every bill you have right now as well as any future bills that come in? Commission Hero is a proven system that has helped over 8,000 people earn upwards of $1,000 a day or more. The best part is that there is zero experience needed to get started. In this free training, Robbie Blanchard and his team will teach you the top 3 secrets to how and why this system works, and how it can also work for you. Join the thousands of people who have found success and financial freedom using Commission Hero. Right now, the first 100 people to use the link below will get access to this free webinar. Now let's get back to the video.
Number 7. Will Smith becomes a TV star. While it's almost impossible to separate Will Smith from the global movie star he has become, the Fresh Prince was once in dire straits. As one half of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Will saw a lukewarm critical reception to their joint 1989 album, and in this corner, a project that also flatlined commercially. Compounding the matter was the fact that Will had been spending too much money, and the IRS hit him up with owing them $2 million in tax payments in 1989. Speaking on the financial issue in a YouTube video he uploaded in 2018, Will remembers feeling down and out before his girlfriend told him to go hang out on the set of the Arsenio Hall show. It was there that he met someone connected to the famed record producer and musician Quincy Jones. From there, he ended up at Jones's home party, where he was given a chance to deliver an impromptu audition for the main character in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which debuted on TV in 1990. The role, of course, helped propel Will to a new plateau for stardom, and within 7 years, he'd become one of the most bankable movie stars in all of Hollywood. Considering the fact that he's now made more money from acting than he ever did as a rapper, it's hard not to consider Will Smith to be the most successful career revival in rap history.
First guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Please welcome Will Smith.
Number 6. Mill Creek becomes an advocate. By July 2017, the effects of a lopsided Drake beef and spurts into random arrest appeared to take its toll on Meek Mill. It was during that time that he experienced his first major album sales drop with his Wins and Losses album, an LP that sold nearly 150% less than his 2015 effort, Dreams Worth More Than Money. That fall, he was arrested for violating the terms of a near-decade-long gun and drug-related prohibition after popping a wheelie in New York City. Meek was ultimately sentenced to 2 to 4 years in prison in November 2017. After being released from prison in April 2018, once it was determined that his arresting officer from years prior had a dubious past, Meek teamed with Philadelphia 76ers co-owner Michael Rubin and Jay-Z to co-found the Reform Alliance. Launched in January 2019, the group is dedicated to criminal justice reform. Meek and Hav pledged $50 million to help the cause. Examples of his work as an advocate are showcased this year as Reform Alliance teams up with author Shaka Senghor to provide nearly 100,000 surgical masks to prisons across the U.S. in order to help inmates amid the coronavirus outbreak. With a new purpose at his back and fresh motivation to inspire others, things were looking up for Meek. By the end of the year, he'd squashed beefs with The Game and Drake and unleashed his 4th major label album, which was appropriately named Championships. The project was his best reviewed in years and has since been certified platinum.
To thank you for watching this video, we're offering you an absolutely free training webinar. Do you want to learn the secret of improving all aspects of your life and unlocking what you're really capable of? The legendary Bob Proctor spent over 57 years learning this one thing and is hosting a free webinar where he reveals what he's learned and what actually works. He'll teach you the law of compensation, a secret only the mega wealthy know of but not taught in our educational system, and the impression of increase, the law of laws that will increase areas in all aspects of your life, whether it be in health, relationships, or wealth. Right now, the first 200 people to use the link below will get access to this free webinar. Now, let's get back to the video.
Number 5. 50 Cent goes into TV. By the time he released his fifth album, Animal Ambition, in 2014, 50 Cent had seen his record sales slow up as hip-hop pivoted from pure gangster rap to trap and R&B-infused SoundCloud rap. Ever the hustler, Fifth channeled his energy into television and signed on to executive produce and star in Star's Power in 2014. Since then, the TV series became one of the most watched on the network and enjoyed a 6-season run. As he ended his run on the show sometime in 2018, 50 got a gig executive producing ABC's For Life, a TV series that chronicles the real-life story of a man who becomes a lawyer after being convicted of a crime he didn't commit. On April 6th, 50 announced that another TV series he's involved in, which is based on the Big Meech and the legendary Black Mafia family, had been picked up by Starz. Needless to say, Fifth's TV career has been more than successful. Number 4. Gucci Mane becomes a new man. By his own admission, Gucci Mane was in a bad place in 2013. That year alone, the rapper, who later admitted to have been dealing with a cocaine addiction, was arrested on 3 separate occasions, with one of those instances being directly after he was released from jail. After a vicious Twitter rant in which he bashed T.I. and Nicki Minaj in September 2013, Gucci was arrested on gun and drug charges. After being sentenced for the charges in May 2014, Guwap began one of the most remarkable transformations in recent hip-hop history. When he was released from prison in May 2016, Gucci had lost 80 pounds after detoxing and hitting the gym. While his music retained its grit, Gucci soon began letting loose enough speak-it-into-existence aphorisms to fill up a post-prison self-help book. 1 year after being released, he performed on ABC's Good Morning America. Since then, he's released a few multi-platinum selling singles, including the Drake-featured Both and the Migos-assisted Get the Bag in October 2017. Gucci married his girlfriend Keisha Kayor, who changed his life totally. Number 3. DMX signs to Def Jam once more. The last few years of DMX's life have been tumultuous, to say the least. But in March 2018, the rapper was sentenced to 1 year in prison for tax evasion. Before that, he'd had a storied battle with drug addiction. In January 2019, he was released from prison and things began looking up. In April of that year, X signed on to star in a movie called Chronicle of a Serial Killer. That September, sources at Def Jam confirmed that X had signed to their record label once again. While X had to enter rehab less than a month later in 2019, by that December, he was performing once again. Late last month, he confirmed to Troy Lanez that he was indeed working on a new album. Don't look now, but it might be the year of the dog once again. Number 2. Joe Budden becomes a cultural commentator. When he burst onto the scene in the early 2000s, Joe Budden quickly established himself as the proverbial next up for East Coast rap superstars. At least one unsatisfactory major label deal and one Slaughterhouse album later, Budden's rap career somewhat stalled. In 2015, Budden discovered his own salvation when he teamed up with friends to start his first podcast. I'll name that podcast later. Since then, he bolstered his brand further. From 2017 to early 2018, he was a host on the internet show Everyday Struggle. After that, in 2018, he scored a deal for his podcast, now known as the Joe Budden Podcast, to stream exclusively on Spotify. That same year, he partnered up with Diddy's Revolt TV for a deal that was reportedly worth $5 million and launched his latest series, State of the Culture. For all his efforts, Budden's life became a bona fide media phenomenon. In 2018, the New York Times called him the Howard Stern of hip-hop. The idea that he could soon be more well-known as a cultural commentator than as a rapper is proof of a legendary rebrand. Number 1. Ice-T becomes a cop. There are few things more ironic than an artist who once had a song called Cop Killer gaining a second career wind by portraying one. Well, that's exactly what Ice-T's done since he took the role of Detective Odafin Finn Tutolia on Law & Order Special Victims Unit in 2000. Before that point, he'd previously played the role of Detective Scotty Appleton in the 1991 classic New Jack City. Still, that was a one-time role, and this gave Ice-T an identity entirely different from the one he debuted with his explosive raps over 30 years ago. As of today, he's been on this show for 20 years. This is all about the rapper's career history. If you like this video, press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon so you will be notified whenever new video is uploaded.